Good afternoon, everybody. SuperJax01 here. Now, I'm actually filming with my webcam on my laptop, and the background's a little different. I'm actually currently at my mother's house in Barrington because there's some work being done at my actual house in North Kingstown. So, been going to be staying here for a few days. But anyway, I decided this video. I've been holding off on doing this video because I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. But you know what? I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler review of The Flash. Yep. It's coming out this Friday, but last Thursday, I actually got to see an early screening of it. And you're probably wondering, and as you saw from my short, probably wondering, how did you pull that off? Well, as you all know, I usually go to movies at my local movie theater at the Showcase Cinemas movie theater in Warwick, Rhode Island, and I saw it, and basically Showcase was doing this thing last Thursday exclusively for Star Pass members, because I have Star Pass where you get discounts and stuff like that. They sent out an email to Star Pass members saying they were having an early screening of The Flash, and that Star Pass members were invited to. Now, oddly enough, despite the fact I'm a Star Pass member and I go to the movie theater almost every weekend, I'd never received an invitation email. However, how I got into the movie is my good friend Ronak Mohanty is also a Star Pass member. Ronak has been in two of my films. He played Mr. Daniels in The Creature, and he played Brody in Wild Ride. He also got, he actually did get an invitation, and he was allowed to bring a guest with him, and he invited me. So thank you, Ronak, if you're watching, this video is for you. But anyway, so I got to see an early screening of The Flash. It was a very exclusive screening and everything. I know the premiere happened a couple nights ago, but this was like very exclusive. Like before the movie began, there was like a disclaimer saying like anybody seen out with their phones recording the screen will be prosecuted. And there was a guy, nobody was allowed to be on their phones at all. So like they literally throughout the entire movie, there were people scouting around the theater to make sure nobody was filming anything. Yeah, it felt really exclusive. Anyway, so I'm going to go into detail. I just want to say right now, this will be spoiler free. There will be no spoilers in this video. So please keep in mind, no spoilers. Yeah, so The Flash, it's directed by Andy Muschietti, who, as you all know, directed the two recent It films. And I know there's some people that are going to be boycotting this movie because of, what's going on with Ezra Miller and everything. And I can understand that. But I decided to check it out mostly for Batman. As you all know, this movie brings back Ben Affleck's Batman and Michael Keaton's Batman from the Tim Burton Batman films. And seeing Michael Keaton back was really good. It's a very interesting new take on the character and everything like that. And Ben Affleck's Batman is only in the film for like 5 minutes, but which I do think was a little disappointing. But that's not a big deal because I understand, because after all, this is Flash's movie, not Batman's. But one of the interesting things is that basically, so the storyline, I'm sure you probably know from the show, but the storyline is that Barry Allen, or the Flash, tries to go back in time using the Speed Force to try and prevent the death of his mother, and of course, then this messes up his entire timeline. So he has to team up with a younger version of himself to try and reset the timeline and everything like that. So that's cool. The younger version of Barry Allen from Ezra Miller their chemistry was great. At first, I thought young Barry was going to be like one of those annoying side characters, but as the film went on, he got less and less annoying, which I thought was really, really, really good. And it's hard not to go into spoilers and everything, so I'm doing my best I can to figure out what else to say about there. I just want to say one thing. This is a really, really good movie, but it's not a great movie. I'm gonna say this clear. Please do not go into this movie with very high expectations. Okay, I know like James Gunn and David Zaslav keep call it like it's one of the greatest comic book movies ever made and stuff like that. It's gotten high praise from people like Tom Cruise and Stephen King and stuff like that. This is definitely not one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. I wouldn't even call it one of the top 10 best comic book movies ever made, but it's still a really good, probably 8, maybe even 9 out of 10 film. And in terms of ranking all the DC Extended Universe movies, this is in 4th place on the list. 1st place being Zack Snyder's Justice League. 2nd place being The Suicide Squad, and then 3rd place being the first Wonder Woman. So this is in 4th place, but this is still a really good film. But just please, I'm really just recommending this. Please do not go in with high expectations, expecting one of the greatest comic book movies ever made, because I think you all will be very disappointed if you do. So please just go in with the lowest of expectations. I think you'll really enjoy it more because it is a really good film. Let's see, what other stuff? If I were to give some negatives with this movie without spoiling, I'd say probably maybe the humor. There's a lot of great, really funny jokes in the film, but then there are some jokes, most notably the opening action scene. There's a joke, it kind of goes on for too long and overstays its welcome. But, yeah. Let's see, what else am I going to say? I am going to be seeing the movie again this Friday. I'm actually doing a double feature because I'm also going to go see Elemental. I want to see, just to see other people's reactions, just to see if they've changed anything since that screening, because I know they're doing a lot of changes. I know they had the worldwide premiere a few weeks ago, and yeah. Be on the lookout for very intense cameos and stuff like that. I will give it credit for that. But yeah, this is very good, and I totally understand why some of you probably won't see this movie because of Ezra Miller. But I definitely recommend still checking it out. Just ignore all that, because honestly, they kind of had no choice but to keep him in the film, considering that he plays the lead actor. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm giving it, a good amount of praise because of, how I got to see an early screen before the rest of the world did. But it was just really good. I can totally understand why this movie was delayed so long, because, this movie was originally supposed to come out, 5 years ago, but they kept delaying it due to director changes and script rewrites. But it's really good. And Andy Muschietti, great director for this film. I believe this is, his first movie that isn't a horror film. Yeah. And I understand. Ezra Miller, I think, is a good actor and everything. But I understand, the controversy is not good. But this film really allows Barry Allen to be his own thing. If you're wondering which version, the Flash in this film, this is more of the version that we saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League and not the over-the-top comedic version we saw in Justice League. Yeah. And I want to say, I know this movie, James Gunn said this movie is supposed to reset the DC universe and they would lead it to him and Peter Safran's new universe. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say how, obviously, like I said, there will be no spoilers. I didn't really get that vibe at the end. I really didn't. It just seemed like another, just a typical ending and stuff like that. But yeah, I do recommend checking out The Flash. That's going to do it. I'm sorry this video is really short, but actually, as you can tell from work, I'm actually on my way to work right now. So yeah. Definitely recommend checking out The Flash if you haven't. Definitely recommend checking out The Flash this weekend.